This is a brief video talking about the syllabus for BEH 333. This is Epistemology and Worldview. This class is 3 units and it is offered this fall. So this course is going to examine the basic models for integrating your Christian faith with the modern behavioral sciences. The specific behavioral sciences we are going to focus on in this class are sociology and psychology. We will use many biblical examples of worldview and epistemology, and the outcome, the emphasis, is going to be on your, as a student's, ability to develop a personal theory of integration. There are no prerequisites for this course. Now, in case you're wondering, epistemology is the philosophical term for how we know what we know. It's about knowledge, how we gain knowledge, and the philosophy related to knowledge. Now, this course is housed in OPS, the Online and the Professional Studies, here at CBU. We specialize in distance education for working adults and others needing a flexible learning schedule. We offer university courses and degree programs, fully online and in hybrid, which means partly online and partly on ground. This course is fully online, so there are no on-ground or face-to-face interactions. The course week beginning on Monday and ending on Sunday is crucial as we set our schedule to that. So, for example, and this will make more sense later when I talk about the schedule, each week begins on a Monday. That would be day 1, and day 7 would be Sunday, and there'll be week 1, day 1, week 2, day 1, so on and so forth. And that's also how we identify the due dates for assignments. My expectation is that you will be logging on regularly and participating in activities and discussions multiple times throughout the week. I will be doing the same thing. That's how we engage with one another. We engage with the material. We do recommend that you complete the various assignments and readings in order in which they are presented. However, there is some flexibility should you be able to or need to work ahead for vacation, for employment purposes, things like that. Just so you know, if you do work ahead, especially on the discussion boards, remember to sign back in. You will likely be the only individual working ahead, and it's still an expectation that you will respond to other students and myself as we ask you questions and interact with your discussion posts. Active participation is the key to online classes, and this one in particular, in terms of assignments and online discussions. So please sign in early and often, and read. You'll have a lot of reading to do in this class. Be careful of any assignments that have specific opening and closing times, and please consult the course schedule. Everything for this course is already available on the Blackboard course shelf for the course, so please be aware of that. This is my instructor information here. I'm Dr. Tom Frederick. This is my office phone number. Email, office hours are by appointment. I do host office hours Mondays and Tuesdays generally from around 10 to 2 each day. But there's no guarantee that I'll have time for you necessarily. So my recommendation is to set an appointment with me. Email is by and large the best, quickest, easiest way to get a hold of me. I usually respond within several hours of student emails, and so just be aware of that. If you would like to call, there's my office phone number. Again, though, the easiest, fastest, quickest way to get hold of me is via email. Well, there's a lot of reading in this course. These are the 4 core course books for this course: Deadly Sins and Saving Virtues by Donald Capps, Timothy Keller's Walking with God Through Suffering, Hugh Ross's More Than a Theory, and Albert Wolter's Creation Regained. Those of you that are psychology and sociology students, and this is not your first class, you probably already have the APA publication manual. So if you do, please do not buy it again. You do not need multiple copies of the publication manual. And I have already uploaded in the course many articles and other kinds of reading things for you to do. So in terms of what we're going to do, or what the outcomes of this course will be, you will apply the worldview concepts that we will talk about to psychological and sociological disciplines. You will be able to describe basic goals of psychological anthropology and compare and contrast that with the behavioral sciences, especially focused on understanding human nature. And finally, you will develop your own model of integration and understanding how the Christian faith and modern behavioral science interact. The main paper for this course is cumulative. By that I mean you'll be writing several mini papers identifying components like the origin, cosmology, or the origin of the world and what the world is like, human nature, what's wrong with the world, and then how to fix it. You'll be writing smaller components and papers, and you'll bring those papers together into the capstone project. Now, it's not going to be a copy and paste, but basically what you will do is you'll identify a social problem like a mental illness, homelessness, divorce, alcohol dependence, domestic violence, something like that, depression, and you will bring the different components that you've written about to reflect on that specific issue from both a Christian worldview perspective as well as a psychological worldview perspective. And so you'll also be, which means you'll need to engage in some of the literature in the psychology, and you are able to use the course texts as references for this paper, for these kinds of things. That would be included in 5 academic citations from a theological point of view, and you'll need 5 from a psychological worldview or sociology worldview perspective. So the format of this paper is going to be a title page, introduction, worldview, and literature review, and finally discussion, and you also need a reference page. So essentially use these introduction, worldview, literature review, those parts as headers for your paper. And then, of course, there'll be a reference page and a title page, which aren't included in the page count in APA format. And so, just so you know, this is the critical assignment or the capstone for the course, and OPS policy is that you have to pass the course at a specific rate, in this instance 70% to pass the course. So going in with 100%, you've gotten all the points for this course into the final week, and you approach it and you decide that you're just going to take the grade whatever you get and not do the paper, you won't pass this class if you don't submit a final paper, a critical assignment, and pass that critical assignment at the 70% rate. There are also weekly discussion boards. Capstone preparation papers are the mini papers that we talked about earlier, leading up to that. And then there'll be a specific sin reflection paper where I want you to interview a pastor or Christian friend on his or her views of sin and its effects. I will be talking about categories like alienation, condemnation, enslavement, and depravity, and you will use those categories as you talk to your interviewee. All the coursework must be submitted for this course and not from another one. Yes, so please be aware of that. That would be considered plagiarism. There's a checklist rubric already uploaded into the Blackboard course site for each course, so please see that for more information. Here's the grade breakdown. This course is worth 1,000 points, and so you can see here with the discussion board, each one is worth 50 points, so 8 times 50 is 400. So that's 40% of your grade. Now, my recommendation would be to make sure that you hit all of those, because those are a very easy 400 points to get. And, of course, if you need to miss a week or whatever, that's one thing, but don't regularly participate in the discussion boards. Those are easy points to get. Like I said, all of the assignments and the schedule is due or identified by days of the week and by weeks. So, for example, all of the things that we do this week with the videos and the discussion boards are all due day 7 of week 1. So that's the Sunday of the first day of the week, and that pattern pretty much follows throughout the course. Now, all of the readings, so like in week 3, you see here, there's a chapter called Christian View of Persons, Families, and Communities. That's already been uploaded into the Blackboard site for you to read, so just be aware of that. Now, the big difference is when we get down here to week 8. everything is due on day 3, as you can see here. And so please, please, please plan accordingly. I'd hate for you to miss out and potentially fail the course by not hitting this day 3, Wednesday of week 8 deadline. I expect high quality of work, professional quality, no contractions, minimal grammatical errors, follow APA format. And here's my late policy. So please, due to the fast-paced nature of this course, it is strongly preferred that all assignments be submitted on time. In an 8-week class, it's very easy to fall behind, and it's quite difficult to catch up. So all assignments will be subject to a 10% penalty for each day that they are late. Work submitted more than 5 days late will not be accepted. And then, of course, as part of this, consider potential technology challenges, complications that might arise. So just be aware. Another outcome of submitting late work means that you will not receive substantive feedback or any feedback on your submitted work late, and there is no discussion board accepted late. So if you don't participate in a discussion board for 1 week, week 2, and then in week 3 you try to go back, I won't accept, you won't be graded. It won't, because that represents an actual live discussion like in a face-to-face class. So just be aware of that. As you're posting, please be aware that people can't tell if you are joking or being sarcastic. So just be professional in how you interact with one another. And then then you can also read about our academic honesty policy and our students with disabilities as well. All right, so if any questions about the syllabus, please email me at tfrederick@calbaptist.edu, and I look forward to getting started.